Thank you very much. I shall try to speak English, since I know that I'm speaking Scottish. If it is too painful for you, it will be very difficult for me, but I shall try. Thank you very much for the invitation. It is very kind from Amélie and the team. So I shall try to present you in half an hour sort of synthesis about Kožarnica. So Kožarnica is situated here in the northwestern part of Bulgaria, not far from Danube Valley, and it is a result of some survey and excavation that we make in the northern part of Bulgaria, and it is in reality the second site with a great sequence, except Redaka, but Redaka is in standby now because it is too close for the Serbian border. It is a little difficult. So I want to precise something. In gray, it is the actual geography, and you saw in some slide in orange. I don't know if you see correctly the color. In orange and yellow, it is a geography of Europe in period of Frexistasi, and it changed a lot for migration and so on. I shall come back of this plate. So Kožarnica is a north flank of Anticlina of Belogradčík. You see here 80 kilometers somewhere here you have Danube, and that it is the first sort of pre-Balkan. So the cave is something like entrance flat cave. You see there is about up to now 13 meters from this small part to this part to the roof, and there is also some breakage here, and all this breakage broke also all the flint that there is in the wall, because there is a lot of flint in the wall, and it will make some problem when you have lower Paleolithic industry make of this geofact. It is sometimes difficult to depart. So Kožarnica is here, and here we have another cave. The name is Mirišljiška, and you have to imagine that there was only one cave before when there was this valley. There was only one cave, and you have 200 meters here, you have 500 meters, so it means that this system is about 1 kilometer, and maybe more, and it is normal for this flat cave in this region. So here it is what we recognize now in Kožarnica. So you have the sector 1, sector 2, sector 3. I shall speak a few words about that because there is surprise. Sector 4 with Middle Paleolithic, very deep in the cave, and after that you have some sector with very few things, but it is all fully disturbed with new management from the Bulgarian military for mushroom and so on and so on. Yes, they prepare mushroom and cheese inside. So the stratigraphy starts by this layer. It is endokarstic layer, like a dynamic of sedimentation, endokarstic layer. After that, you have the middle part of the sequence, and you saw here the limit between the lower part and the middle part, and you start to have the trace of fireplace here. And after the upper part of the sequence, and I put the both because you are seeing exactly here this limit, and this limit is very important in stratigraphy, in geology, for the fauna and for the lithic. It is very important border, if you want. And after that, you have the middle Paleolithic, upper Paleolithic, this is fireplace. Because I have not a lot of time, if you have questions, tell me after that, because I have no time. That is the ratio lithic versus fauna. And when I told you about this border is here between the lower part of the sequence and the upper part of the sequence. And you see that the ratio is very different between the both. middle paleolithic and upper paleolithic, you have about 20% of fauna. Today you have 30% of fauna, but in the lower part of the sequence, you have 60, 80% of fauna, and so it is slightly different. For sector 3, it is something else because basically it is close to one Ienaden, not far from one Ienaden, so you have mixed ratio, and I choose only this one, this layer A, where there is origination, and then we have only 20% fauna and 80%. So quickly, very quickly, from the lower part of the sequence, we have this kind of things. These ones are not made on geofacts falling from the roof, but this raw material provided from the valley in front of the cave, because there is a lot. So it is a test nodule. You can read. After that, there is some skyscraper, transversal, notches. And so the lower Paleolithic, you have it is basically core and flex industry, non-Achenian without BFAS. So you can say, read what you have. It is the upper part of lower Paleolithic, and this set 11.8. It is the last layer for lower Paleolithic. And when you are checking from the bottom to the top, obviously for the people who are working flints, and there is one evolution. It starts and there is something who will look like a Levallois who appear. But this layer on the after this layer on the A, we have one great problem because we were thinking that we had one erosion, and we were thinking that we lose about 200,000 years, and now since we have the date, we lose about 200,000 years. So it is, so we have this big one. You have to imagine that here you have core, and how they use the core in that direction, and that direction, or in the both of direction on the long axis of the support. After that, they use in the middle part this system in this direction, that direction. I put some text if you want. It is clear, but I have no time to detail. And after that, you have this system on this axe, tac, and they use like to prepare. It starts to look like something like this code. There is some used bone. There is a lot of used bone, and there is a lot of bones that we were thinking that they would use, but we put apart. We don't put in trash, but we put apart. And maybe we shall come back then. There is a negative in both of the sides, and we make experiment, and it is very useful when we want to remove the upper part of one wood. We have the same trace. After that, you have this one that we published a long time ago, and maybe with some series of cut marks, tac, and this. Each time, then this one is made with 3 or 4 cut marks, and after that, the tool or the bone was turned, and after that, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, and we make one microscope analysis of the profile, and you turn even the tool or the bones was turned to prepare the other one. After that, we start to understand what are this line, because we have a lot of bones with line, a lot, and basically it is the one we have one flat surface with raclage. They prepare one sort of convex surface, and after that they make striation. And time to time, these striations are each 2.5 millimeter and on 10, 12 centimeter. But there is also this one, or there is series of 2 more irregular, but we have a lot of that. And up to now, one mathematician says that it is one calcul for the moon. Maybe yes. So maybe yes. You can imagine what you want. The problem is there is a lot, and there is a lot since the layer 12 in the lower part of the sequence until the layer 3A in the upper part of the sequence. They make three. We have one rib, something like that, and that it is 2.6 millimeter, like that. And they do that in Bachokiro, they do that in Temnata, they done that in a lot of caves in Bulgaria, and you will see what after that. So I have no time to. It is one synthesis of everything. For me, the basic things it is there is a no level and bifast, but it is core and flex. That is the middle Paleolithic, something like start to be more pretty, if I can use it. It looks something. So that it is layer 10B, Levallois, with some micronuclei. And that is very interesting because this raw material, you have two parts. One comes from the place, local place, and so modular, something like that. But time to time, they go to take raw material 240, 50, 30 kilometers to the east, near Mousselievo, where you have a very good, very pretty raw material, and they prepare something else on this. So you have the boss. And after that, upper Paleolithic, you will see come back on this raw material, not good, tectonized and broken, and so on. So again, that is layer 10A, it is younger. It is Levallois. The series of facies 9 and 10A, you have the things up. After that, you have some Mousterian point, side scraper, Levallois. Voilà, and I should take some seconds about that. You know something about Mousselievo. I think that there is a lot of leaf point, and this leaf point basically was thinking. The idea was that they was very young in time and coming from Zagros and so on, coming. But our leaf points are about 100,000, 170,000, 172 in Temnata, and we have date here, and now it is 200,000. So it is early, and that it is on this material from Kozarnica, not really pretty, but the shape is good. And when you have very good raw material, you have Mousselievo, very pretty, very long with different shape and so on. So you have something more pretty, but they prepare the same shape with one material, but they try to do something. And something also interesting, that Upper Paleolithic use this different techniques to have the same shape until 11,000. Time to time, some leaf point in Upper Paleolithic are obviously coming from something they find in the cave. It is from Middle Paleolithic layers. But Upper Paleolithic, time to time, they are preparing a leaf point like that. No, we don't have a lot, but we have time to time. So that is the problem, the sentence for what we find. Basically, we have Mousselievo, Temnata, and Kozarnica. Samuilitsa, yes and no, but less. Okay. So the lower stage in Kozarnica, it is 10C and to 10A, so about it is 170,000 to 200. And the upper stage, it is Mousselievo, Kozarnica, and Samuilitsa. It is about 80, 60, 50. And that was the idea. Everything is come around 50, 80, but in reality, it is 100,000 earlier. And that was the idea of Sirakov, from where come leaf point, from here to here, or from here to here. It is in work, but it is the idea. We have some, again, some bone use, some points, not really sharp, but there is some. After that, we have one layer. Yes, we have one layer. Exactly, we don't know what it is. It is initial upper paralytic. We call that just before Kozarnicien. It is a bladlet, lamellar débitage, blade core. You have also this kind of débitage. It is not really exactly what we shall have in the layer 5C, that it is real Kozarnicien, but it is something that is not middle paralytic, and it is not, or it is the beginning of Kozarnicien. And after that, you have this kind of thing, bladlet, point, and so on. Some size end scrapers, not a lot. This I was saying about this bifacial leaf bones in upper paralytic, and it is that. It's very fine. Okay, so iron now. That it is power and bone industry. We have something like that. And after that, you have this, again, one tool, one bone used to prepare, I don't know what, maybe. And after that, you have these things. I told you that there is a lot of line and so on. And we find this one who look like a lot of salmon, but there is also this bones with lab point. And after that, you have this, the three Venus in Bulgaria. So I prepare the copy because it is only one side. I prepare the copy to see what it looked before. And what is interesting is that this bone is very close to this bone in Kostionki. It is a piece of rib with something like around here. And one decoration in Kozarnica, it is 1x, often 2x. Here it is point or line, but it is very close. And this bones with point, line made with point, it is very close to a lot of points like that, that it is also in Kostionki, layer 3, Kostionki 1, if I remember correctly. For the fauna, try to read because I shall lose time if I read. By principle, like numbers, there is very few carnivore, but and a lot of herbivore, but we have a lot of species, different species. So I go, sorry, it was very pretty, but I have no time. So you have up. 1 second for that, because I heard a lot of things about this equid from Migdolonia and Greece and so on. We have the same problem in Kozarnica, because Altidens, okay, that is not a problem, but we have one very tall, because the Metatarsian 3 is about 32 centimeter, 35 centimeter, 35 centimeter, but it is very thin, gracile, very thin, that it is out of the shape. If you want, it is one tall robustus, but very, very, very thin. Obviously, it is a stenonoid group. It is inside a stenonoid group, because when you see this petrous part, it is close to this equid with the remember of Pliocene equid middle inner here. The upper tooth are obviously stenonian, and step by step, these upper tooth are close to something will look like cabalinid. Lower tooth, obviously, they are stenonian, and it is so. I was very interested was what presented. It is close to Apollonia or not close to Apollonia. I think, for what I hear, it is something else. Maybe we shall have to discuss, because there is something in this part of the Europe where this Obviously, it is one, because I have also Stapes and Malleus, and it is all fully not a Cavallini. It is close to Pliohippus, very close to Pliohippus. Not Pliohippus, but close. Okay, I cross. There is Macaca, and this one who too big to be Macaca. The shape is not the shape is not Cercopithecine. The shape is Colobiné. So when we think that we had a surprise with Dolichopithecus balcanicus, maybe we shall have a surprise. That is in work. Upper fauna. Unfortunately for this colloquium, we have 4 or 5 mammoth, pieces of mammoth, maximum. 1 tooth of Celodonta and 2 fragments of. That is the worst in the world. So some, voilà. And after that, I shall stop because I have no time. So, but that is basically there was a Bachochiro at the beginning, but this part was lost for different reasons. After that, excavation Sirakov-Hublin, they discover, you saw the publication, I guess, with this After that, the second site was Temnata, who was knowing that we have that. And when I start to work again on the fauna of Temnata, I discover this occipital. It is the same individual of this one. So that it will be published soon. And in Kozarnica, we had this piece. Now, this piece is something like that. And when you saw, you immediately upper day one without problem. When you say it is maybe the end of lower Pleistocene, I don't know. So we check the enamel, and the answer, it is not Neanderthal. But nobody wants to tell me if it is Homo or not. When you put on the table, it is Homo, but it is like that. After that, we had this radius, and this radius was for us between one more older than 130 and younger than 200,000. And now we have OSL date; it is 200,000. This was with the illegal excavation. Svante took and told us that it is Neanderthal, but we don't know from which level it comes. After that, in the other layer, this layer 6-7, with there is early upper Paleolithic. We have that. After that, in the Aurignacian layer, we have this one and third phalanx. And if we take one schema, by chronology, you have this one, Neanderthalian, Kozarnica, Bachochiro, Kozarnica, and Temnata at the end of the thing. And there is nothing else like, maybe in Bachochiro. Some dates that it is, you don't read and I don't read. No, it is only to show you that there is some lack of occupation. If you can think that it is something like continuous, you have 1 lac here, 1 lac here, and 1 lac that to imagine here and here. And when you take this one, this is initial upper Paleolithic, it is between 42, 43 and 54, something like that, in sector 1 and 2 and in sector 3, because sector 3 is here. And here it is the lower Kozarnician, and inside, exactly inside, in the second sondage, you have Aurignacian. So it is one intercalation like that. And I was speaking about this lack of continuity. It is here, here, and obviously here in the last. So at the end, lack of sedimentation, of lack of occupation, there is some lack. So, la synthèse. Ouais, je vais trop vite. Voilà. It is only the synthesis. Upper Paleolithic, we have date, radiocarbon, it is not great problem. Middle Paleolithic, we have OSL And I was wanting, because I heard something about biochronology. At origin, I am paleontologist, geolog paleontologist. So for me, biochronology is very important. And the estimation for us, it was for this year 126, 200,000, and the date is 128, 200, 1,000. So if somebody tell me that the biochronology don't work, we took 2 times from pasta. And the lack of in the sedimentation and in the cave between the lower part of stratigraphy and the upper part is here. And when you see this estimation, for us it is 400, 600. And the fauna also, it is MNQ 24 and here MNQ 21. Here I put also different date. If you want this table, it will be published soon and I can give to somebody. But I want to one word, and after that, promise maybe I stop. Because there is one paper who exists about Giovanni. I like a lot of Giovanni. Giovanni Mutoni. I like a lot of this guy. And it is very good specialist, donc Chano-Senossi. But in 2000, we start the first palomagnetic analysis, and we find one destructuration of the vector magnetic here at 6 meters, 41 centimeters. And when he makes the analysis, for me, like geolog, not like paleontolog, he makes 2 mistakes. He don't take in account, because that it is his result, and it is 2 centimeters in the same at the same altitude. He don't took in account this one, because for him this positive, negative, he don't took in account. He considers that it is loss, but in near Kozarnica there is no loss. There is no loss for different reasons. There is pseudo-loss, but they are Mesozoic, so you can't compare with Danube serious loss, that it is 200 kilometers to the east when the wind is blowing to the south from the southwest. So it is technically it is impossible. So you saw a lot of paper about that, and the sequence is not continuing because it is endokarstic. So he makes us a great problem because for him the boundary between lower and middle Pleistocene is here in the layer 13. For us, it is here between 11 BC. So this paper exists. If you see something about, so I was obliged to say, but you have to take in account that. And I promise I see, because I'm.
Thank you.